Afternoon all. Here you can see a Meccanoid, the small one, the G15, the kid size, the G15 KS isn't available yet. This was purchased at Argos, where there's a limited supply of around 6 or 7 stores around my area. Around half of those had them, or you could order or reserve. This was ordered last night at about midnight actually, and picked it up just a few hours ago. You can read my initial first thoughts on the thread about this model or this set. That's on meccanozone.com. I'll put a link in the description. The basic information that I could glean from the box is all there, but it's a weighty model, which I've already stated this in that thread. It's a weighty set, I should say, not model. It's not made yet, is it? And it's got a good robust handle, plastic handle. It must be 3 or 4 kilogram, I would say, which was a surprise, as there's no charger in this. I couldn't have thought so anyway, because it runs off 4 C-sized or LR14 batteries. The larger one has its own rechargeable battery pack. $169.99. Dare say it will be cheaper eventually. You usually get some good offers on Meccano after a few months, but I dare say with this, because it's this side of Christmas, I dare say any offers won't be till the new year. I have no evidence for that, but it's just a guess, I should think. If things go with these as, well, I can't really say predicted, but as mentioned on the web, this could be one of the top sellers at Christmas. And if it is, great, because it gets the young folks in, and without the young folks in, the hobby dies. Essentially it's all compatible with Meccano parts from the dawn of time, or rather about 1901 I suppose. You can see from the front of this box, the front box image, you can see the, if you haven't seen, you can check on the internet, but you've only got to put Meccanoid in, you'll find loads of images. This is a simpler construction regarding the arms. The rest looks pretty similar, smaller but similar construction. That'll be your brain there. A concern, that might be a too strong a statement, on the box it states that it is compatible, and this is for controlling the robot, it's compatible with a select amount of iPhone and Android devices, your iPads, your phones and all that. That's a slight worry for me, because I'm not into buying the latest phone every 5 minutes. That don't, as long as the phone works and I can text and a bit of internet, that's fine by me. But my phone was due to be replaced, so I bought one a bit more fancy than I would normally do. I just hope that it is one that's compatible. Yet to find the software online, but I say all that sort of thing you can read about in the thread on meccanozone.com. So it's a weighty box. It's got 600 parts for 10 years plus. Let's open it and see what's in. With the sellotape sliced, we just lift the lid up and pull out the tabs, and ooh, that's a lot better than I was expecting. And I bet you're thinking, what's he looking at? Show us. Well, I will. Hang on a minute. Right, there you go, folks. That's exactly as you open the box. That's how you see it. Quite impressed, really. I'm only holding the paperwork because if I loose it, it slides. I've raised the back of the box so it's a bit easy to see, and I don't get shadow off the lighting. Right, now, there we are. We'll have a look at the paperwork in a minute. Here we have the box of bits, and there's a lot of bits. Of course, a lot of plastic bits in it, but that's normal for many years now. I can't really say too much without taking everything out the bags, but we'll have a look at a few bags. But I do moan about many sets, newer sets, you know, the empty box more or less with a couple of plastic bags thrown in to roll around, parts clash, can be damaged I suppose a little bit. Yeah, essentially empty box with say 3 bags in there. The bags are too big for the few parts that are in there. boxes could be smaller. I suppose the big box looks more impressive, but this is very nicely done by the looks of it. We've got nice dividers all in. I suppose you could use it afterwards for parts, but it being cardboard, eventually it will give way, I suppose. But we've got a nicely constructed box. Can't complain about that. Now this, I presume, what is this? That's the battery box there. Have you ever seen a bigger Meccano battery box? Yes, you have. The 9 battery yellow box with the were they called HP 2s then, or 7s many years ago? So I suppose there has been a bit of a big battery box. Looks nicely made. Crisp moulding on the front. Oh, I ain't going to go into it too much now because we'll be here all day. There's your mount, if you like. Your phone goes in there. Now mine's a bit small, but I presume it'll be alright in there. So, that being the battery box and the mount for the phone, I dare say this is the brain. Certainly a speaker there. Many connections there for your different servo lines and whatever. There's a USB connection there to plug in. So there's your brain. Well, it is a bit of tradition. Those of a certain age will remember small parts coming in cardboard boxes. Well, we ain't got the labelling on, but we have got an M servo in there. Smart Servo 3 it says on there. Smart Servo 3 on that one as well. And indeed on that one. On that one. Tradition, I suppose, then. Of a sort. Shall we have a look at one? Looking at the one at Skegness, the G15 KS, they look like, well, from what you can see of them, standard sort of servos that you get in remote control stuff. And let's have a look at this one. Indeed, it does have an appearance of that. Not exactly the same, mind you, I ain't looked at one for years. We've got some electronics on the bottom. That's new to me. And we've got the lever already on. So there we can see that's a different size there to Meccano, which I suppose is understandable because they can buy in servos off the shelf, I suppose, make it cheaper. You can see the holes there, should be fine for Meccano. So interesting. Does add another level to it, I suppose, and if it gets kids involved, as I said before, then that's fantastic. Right, so we'll put the brain away. I think it's probably bigger than my brain, even though it's not very big. Not too much excess packaging in the bag on that one either. Right, we'll just go a quick through. We've done the brain and the servos, battery box, the holder for the phone. So look in this bag again. Not too excessive on the packaging. I like that. We've got a USB lead there, and those wheels there. So we've got wheels on this model, not tracks. I could have sworn it said it's shown tracks on the box somewhere. No, my fault. Wheels. They're quite smart wheels actually. You can see them there. Low profile with quite a bit of grip. The centre's not standard Meccano. Would have liked that to be the case actually, because like the remote control cars, I'd love to be able to change the wheels, to put Meccano ones on and try getting the wheels off. But we'll see. Well, we've got some caster wheels there, and I presume, I'm guessing, I could be completely wrong, but I presume those are the two motors to drive. But it's early days, of course, I'm guessing that. So don't be surprised if I am wrong. What we got here? Well, mouldings are. Now those will be the feet essentially, your wheels go in there. Quite a chunky base actually, I could see that being of use. Of course it's all compatible. It's got the right holes in the right places and the right distances apart. We like that. There we have a bag of bits. Now, what would you call these? Be interesting to see a parts list that includes these parts, to see what names they give them, if they give them anything. Solid. Not much weight in it, which is what you want. I suppose these here, so I can get one near the edge. I suppose that there is an angled girder, and I suppose these are flat plates. I suppose. Oh, okay. We've got something else in here. What's we got in here? We got some. You know, I forgot the name. What would you call them? Double angled strips. You know, like your 5L by 1L, your 2.5 inch by 1/2 inch jobbies, I suppose. I don't know. What we've got here? We've got some more back. Now, these are the body parts. This sounds a bit evil, doesn't it? These are the body parts. There we go. I don't mind looking in the bag, but everything looks nicely finished. There's no sign of flashing, like it was an Airfix, so and no extra moulding. Nicely finished. Cost has come up, some time back, but it's come up recently. The cost of items in the UK compared to other countries, I don't know how to work it out. I don't make them, I don't sell them, I don't distribute them, I don't know. You do seem to sometimes feel as though you've been fleeced. Personally, you know, look in the box, I don't feel that. I suppose it's possible. I can't prove it one way or the other. There's all sorts of ins and outs and variables to the cost of things in different countries. Now, this is made in China. It's got to get here. We'll have to compare it with costs of other countries, but perhaps we can compare it in another way. I'll have to confirm in the instructions if we've got a full parts contents list. But if I take the London Bridge set, the new one, it's been around for a couple of months. It's 40 quid, you know, 39.95. It's been seen about 41.2 in some places, but generally it's 40 quid. And you get, in that set alone, £17 worth of standard length bolts. That's not including the nuts. And it's got 4 flange plates. And they must be a couple of quid each. We've already gone sort of past halfway the cost of the whole set. And that is a very good value set. There's a video on that, you can find it in one of the playlists. Now, here we have nuts and bolts and tools. Really, you can just about see there the new Allen driver. Well, fairly new. I'll have to check that with the one I've got. But the Meccano stamping. So we'll get into more of this when I'll get to build it, and on anything I'll find out, I'll let you know. Can you just see this? You can just see there, possibly. The Meccano's quite large there. The Meccano moulded name there. See if I can get it a little bit better. I'll tell you what, hang on a minute, let's open the bleeding bag, huh? Save messing around. Let's have a look. I'm going to have to check this because the actual shaft of the tool is very shiny. I don't recall the other one being like that. I'll have to go and find one now. There we've got Meccano there, the new sort of branding of the name there. Quite large. Now I'll go and find my other one and see what that's like. I couldn't find it. I forgot. I've put it in the number 10 set build. Right. Now here we are. That's the new one. And this is the one that came with the off-road Desert Raider Evolution set. And to be honest, I only bought it to get this driver. But there you are. You see the sort of more. It's the same. It's the same sort of. It's the same design, same font, but a lot smaller. And that's in your face. Don't have to look for it. I like that. That's good. The finish is Well, there might even be a slight lighter red on the older one than this one. But yeah, the finish on the shaft is shiny on the new one, and shall we say satin on the old one. And oh well, the old one's a fraction longer, but it's nothing really. Just a case of it's been put in further than the other one, I suppose. So there we go with the driver. I've said before, I ain't that keen on the driver for making things. I find it harder to get leverage basically, but it's great for taking apart because you like just spin things off. Right, and I also see the newer spanner, and again we have zinc plated spanner, shiny spanner. Now I wonder if that's something to do with either they want it different from the other sets, or maybe the paint was causing that thickness dimension issue, trying to get some nuts on. I think it's time to go and find some nuts. Right then folks, I suppose zinc really ought to be thicker than the paint I was using. Yeah, I suppose it is a bit more grippy. I find that less slippy than the satin paint, whatever it was. Right, anyway, got two nuts here. We've got an encapsulated one, the Nylock one, and a standard easy start one. There were issues before getting the open-ended on the Nylock nuts. This is just picked at random, relatively snug, but more importantly it goes on well. Good. Now we've got the standard easy start nut, and as expected, no problems there. Go for the middle. It's a good fit, but easy enough to get on and off. The other thing was this clipping issue. You're supposed to be able to clip anywhere in there, but as you can see, that's clipped nicely at the end there. But of course it's only one spanner. I've had various spanners that have, you know, it goes in nice. It doesn't exactly clip in, seems to grip it okay. And lastly, the Nylock nut through the centre. This is a bit tight, if I'm honest. Let's try again. We'll go that way. I'll get him right. Let's try putting the nut through there like that. That is quite snug. Goes through okay. Perhaps a little bit more snug than the other one there. But of course this is just two nuts. And just for completeness, here's the new finished spanner on the left, the older finished spanner on the right. I wonder if that's because maybe some of the sets are made in France and some of the sets are made in China, and that's the difference. Like the bolt heads can be different, and the finish to the ends of narrow strips can be a different shape. So there you go. It does look like that one's got more of a crank, but it hasn't. It hasn't at all. So if I go like that, you can see they are the same. In shooting we have this optical illusion with curved magazines to hold the cartridges. If you imagine these are magazines, you could have, say, a 20 round magazine there and a 20 round magazine here. This one will always look shorter on that side until you move it over, and then it becomes longer. So you may see there, one might seem to be slightly more cranked than the other, but they are the same. So, although it's only, sorry for being a bit glary there, it's only one spanner that I can check it against, but that's something to keep an eye on. I mean, don't mean much really, does it? But just a little difference there. And here we have nuts and bolts galore. Now I dare say I'm going to have a stab and say that there are no standard length nuts, bolts in this set. They all look, and this is a very quick look, 12s and longer. But let's get rid of those. Let's see a bit better. There we are. How much of them go? 10p each, 12mm bolts? I don't know, how many's there? There's some longer ones in there as well, or slightly longer. Or are they? No, I tell a lie, they all look 12mm. Now, without looking, let's say them 10p each at a dealer. There must be 200 there, maybe. I mean, even if there's 100 at 10p each, you know, it all mounts up. Now we've got pivot bolts, encapsulated nut or two. We've got some black pivot bolts. I haven't seen these before. Oh, there you see black ones there. Different length bolts in there. All of the longer variants. Although there is a couple of 9s in there. And nuts, of course, there. I don't know. I'm guessing 200 there. What's a nut now? Is a nut and bolt about 12p all in? 6p for a bolt, 4p for a nut. I think that's it. Could be wrong on that. So roughly, there's about £8 of nuts there. So I'm guessing a bit here, of course, folks, but there's probably 20 quid's worth of fixings, if not a little bit more. So we've got that there. I'll quicken up a bit now, I've been gassing too long. All about nuts and bolts now. I presume that's the shoulder bracket. We've got plugging wire there. His eyes, is it 600 different colours you can change the eyes? 2 different shades there. Some odd spaces and fixings. Those look for the wheel centres actually there. I must say I am very impressed with the box and the packaging, because it means it can't roll around too much. More, I suppose that could be a flanged plate, or is it like a bow tie? You've got the flanges on the ends there. What's this one? Oh, I don't know, ribs maybe. Sorry for the slamming of the garage door outside. It's nigh on impossible to do this. This is about 3 o'clock in the morning where there's nothing going on, but you don't get odd noises in the background. Those are the covers for the servos on all the joints, seen that on the large one at Skegness. Some strips and more brackets. And a rather nice Meccano badge, like that. On parts, I would like many parts to be produced separately now, but of course that ain't gonna happen. But maybe I wouldn't mind a few of those little badges for here and there. So there we are, folks. That's the parts. I'll put the nuts and bolts away, and then we'll have a look at the instructions. So here we go, folks. We've got the all the paperwork that's in a rather decent quality sleeve. Keeps it all nice and flat and not damaged for now, of course. This is what it looks like to me, exactly what it is, a bit of a photocopy, and it doesn't look good. You know, if you're going on the impressions, it doesn't look good. That was the first thing I thought that looks like a bit of a last minute add-on, and I think it is. Now, it's clear enough to read. It's like that first impression look. Now, I know you're not supposed to judge a book by its cover, as it were, but this does sort a couple of things. My concern on my initial report that you can read on the meccanozone.com website, forum, was concerning the lack of the app and the device compatibility list on the internet, either Meccano's own websites or the App Store and Google Play, where you'll be able to download the app for free onto your devices so you can control and program Meccanoid via Bluetooth. Of course, the beauty of Bluetooth is it'll only pair with, you'll pair it with the device you want it to, so we don't have to mess about with having things on the same frequency like we do with the radio controlled cars. But this does sort that. And so we know where we stand now. Congratulations on purchasing the Meccanoid G15 personal robot. Meccanoid G15 offers multiple ways to play and interact, including via an app on your smart device. You are part of an exclusive group to experience the Meccanoid before the global launch of the product and the app in August. And then it says again, app available for download in August 2015. So I presume this is some sort of advanced release, if you like. So there we are. So that's why we can't find it, because it's not out yet. Now we know, we can spread the word around. So if somebody does ask, please let them know, because it is a bit of a pain when I've done it with instruction books. I need to get the few to download for a certain set, and they're not there, and the set's been out for about 2 months. Where are they, you know? What else we got here? That looks like Russian or Greek to me, and Spanish probably. The English version. Thank you for purchasing Meccanoid Personal Robot. Meccanoid is a highly advanced robotics building platform. Yes, we've heard all that, I suppose. Assembly before you start playing and having fun. Now that one, I suppose they're just making sure people know that you've got to build it first. And it's got a contact for North America, Spin Master North America, and the UK number. Additional tips and troubleshooting information available online. So that's pretty good. Well, in a way, we've sort of, well, some of us have moaned the lack of simple models to make in the more traditional sets, so we say, and hunting for information. So it's sort of, to me, it's like underlining the fact that, okay, the information may not be here in the box, but it tells you where to get it. Okay. What's this one? Oh, this is all the safety stuff. You should be 30 centimeters away from the product to avoid unexpected impact. That's what it says there in several languages. This toy is only to be connected to a Class 2 equipment bearing the symbol and there's a square. Caution, cut adult product has functional sharp points. I ain't noticed many sharp points yet. Have you? Bye. I do like the new books on a whole, the new instruction books, quite good quality, but they are quite heavy and I find that they tend to pull through the staples. But what is nice, and I've only just noticed this, they've gone back to the old way with the heavier books. It is stitched, properly bound at the end like that. Excellent. What we got? Batteries not included, so that's, we also got the number again. Service, UK Spin Master, free phone number there. Instruction guide. I was saying earlier about, or rather in the initial review, if you like, on the Meccano, about there being, you know, all the boxes are for all the places where it's going to be sold, all the different countries. But I suppose that's been like it since early 70s, I suppose. Thinking about it. So, right, let's have a look in the book. What we got here? FCC statement, because that's American with the, I suppose, the Bluetooth and all that. Contents: 600 parts, 1 mecha brain, 1 LED module, 2 hand tools, 4 servos, 2 rear wheel assembly, 2 motor gearbox assembly, 1 USB cable. Now that motor gearbox assembly, that is interesting. Although it's a bit big, I could have done with that in my Land Rover 101, which is still 2i geared. But what we got anyway, 3 sections: assembly, connect and plug in, and play. Yeah, 1, 2, 3. That's clear enough. Now we're going to go through absolutely everything because we'll be here all day and all night, and I waffle too much anyway. So, table of contents and assembly. Build your robot, connect and plug in and download your language, connect the electronics, play, let's play, command card, voice commands, program with app, consumer information. And we have a full parts list, and although it's not pitch black dark some of the parts, what we said about the inset parts, although perhaps they just don't do it on this, we'll find out, the inset parts were not having the white outlines to make them stand out so much, sorry, further than when you get like this black blob for the plastic collar, so we haven't got that here, but they aren't that dark. That one, for example, has got a bit of shine on it, so we'll wait and see as we get on to the main events what's what. Now, bolt wise, we was on about bolts earlier, and there are 195 12 millimeter, not milliliter, millimeter bolts. That's the half-inch bolts. For example, there's 195 of those. Now, if a standard bolt is 6p, then I think it's fair to say that a 12mm is going to be at least 10p. So for standard bolts, if you want 12mm bolts, I suppose that's a good buy. We've got 217 standard nuts, and we've got some other new parts. Well, of course, a lot of these are new parts, I suppose, but 217 standard nuts. So 100 nuts, I suppose bulk buy you get them a bit cheaper, so I haven't looked on any websites, and maybe I will later, but I would say bolts alone you're gonna have, I wouldn't be surprised if it's 20 quid's worth of bolts alone, if not more than that, maybe a bit more, and then there's the nuts on top of that, and then the tools, there's the encapsulated nuts, the nylock nuts as well, which is 14 of those. You know, I mean, I'm only guessing here, I don't know, 30 quid, 35 quid's worth of nuts and bolts out of the 170, which it nearly is, on 169.99 or 95. So 30 quid, and granted, the other parts are perhaps, although compatible, on the face of it as we see it now, because it's brand new, is not as easy to use in other things, but then again that depends on your imagination. So yeah, this looks like something in the region of 30 quid worth of parts. We've got a page here showing the basics of how to do the basics, screwing nuts together, nuts and bolts and spanners, and what to do, and then we go on to build your robot, and that's as clear as I think you could get. Perhaps a little bit small, but there's nothing too involved in bolting these body parts to the phone mount. The brain's in there, of course. There's your first one, putting the brain in. 2 nuts, 2 bolts. That's where the black ones are used, which looks, on the face of it, I can't really say I've got a problem with the instructions, because we won't find out till we get into it, I suppose. I suppose because there's a lot of grey parts as opposed to black, we haven't got the try and get this round so you can see it without too much glare. We haven't got the outlining as much, but there are tints and shines on corner pieces that to give it a bit more depth to the images. Very clear. Red is part 1, I believe. That's right, yeah. Red goes up to stage 61, 69. But of course you do a lot less per stage. Oh, it goes up to 80, still going. 87, and that's putting the batteries in. Just there. And we're not going to go into it all. Command card. Plug this in there and that. So, on the face of it, vocal commands there. Let's look at that command card again. Command card. Okay, voice commands. It tells you how to download the free app there, App Store and Google. Free app available. It says also at www.meccano.com. Check with them to see if your device is compatible. Let's hope mine is. So I think that's enough on all the waffle there, folks. I can't really say I've got any concerns now, as long as the app comes out beforehand. And if Meccano are watching this, I don't suppose you could send me the app before August the 15th, could you? Because I need it to display it. I would like to operate it to its fullest extent, or dare I say, crash him to its fullest extent. The other model that you can make with it, which I haven't seen what it is actually, don't know where that is. I have seen on the box the number 2 model that you can make is available to download, sorry, or should that be online, and as is many of the sets now. So there we are, folks. As usual, I've probably gone on too much. I wonder what I'll be doing on my break time tonight. Any guesses? See you later.